taping. Okay, so, probably one reason why it isn't used a lot, I think, probably in just general practice, is that traditionally it's a lot of tape. Like you have to put a lot of tape on to block the knee from a hyperextension perspective. But I've got a really neat technique that actually locks the knee, and again I talk about protecting structures, where you can actually stop that hyperextension, but your popliteal fossa and all your vessels and those structures are protected. And all you're really doing is taking up general skin slack and using that to actually cause a hyperextension block, okay? So it's a really cool technique and it's real quick. And that's the other thing too, you want to be able to get people back on the park or out of if you're in the clinic where you've got a time restriction, you've only got 20, 30 minute appointment. So by doing this quickly is obviously another benefit of the technique. Yes. 30 ml. Okay, so right knee. So I'll get you to put yourself in a stride stance position with the knee in a bit of flexion, that's it. Okay, so what we do, okay, so basically, because you do get a fair bit of skin traction with this technique, you do want to have your fixed tape underneath. So I just measure 2 identical lengths. And I just check to make sure that they're the right length. And you'll see here quite a fair bit of tape. And that's a bit too long. Okay, so I'll just cut those off. And the aim, when we apply the tape, we're going from effectively the anterior aspect of the quad, and we land anterior at the tip, okay? So we start at the front and we end at the front. They're the reference points you're after. Okay. So we can do this without a mess. Okay, so what we do, come around. So you can see I'm working the tape like this, it's much easier. So if you pull it all off at once, you're in big trouble. Yep, okay. So I come around the back of the knee. So in doing that, I've been able to avoid really going over the fossa. And we do that laterally also. Okay, so similar thing. We'll be coming around laterally this time. Behind the knee. This one's a little short, but that's okay. We'll still get a good lever on anyway. Okay, so the amount of blocking is based on how much flexion you have. Yeah, so it's a bit of a no-brainer. So if say that Brendan had a hyperextension injury where, or what are some of the injury? What could happen? What happens if you get a hyperextension? Fat pad. So anterior. Yep. So you want to block that. ACL. Yep. Anything else?
Posterior corner.
Posterior lateral corner. Yeah, popliteal. There's a number of things posteriorly that can be aggravated that you want to try and block that hyperextension, okay? And so, depending on how much and how acute, so if it's quite acute, and I go back to if someone would normally require a brace or some form of splintings, then you can save them a bit of money as well by doing this technique, and again, their structures are protected. So, in that setting where you really have to block them, you'd flex them quite a bit, okay? But if someone's actually competing and they're currently doing sport, then you're not going to be as flexed, okay? So we'll put you about halfway, mate, about there. And the great thing about this taping technique is that you can reassess as you go along. So all you do is the tape follows the line of your under arm.
Do you pull it?
Oh no, I didn't really pull that much, did I? So what you do is you just check quickly, just go back, do you feel locking?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for Brendan to head back to sport, that's probably enough. But you could block it more if you're looking to really put them off load posteriorly. Okay, so same thing, we come around, using a similar amount of flexion. Okay, and so just straighten up for me, and you feel that block.
That's good.
Yeah, it's great. So you don't have to do that 10-hour taping technique where fix, and then having to tape. You're just using the line of pull on the skin, taking up that slack and getting that hyperextension. And guess what's protected at the back? Popliteal fossa. You have to worry about any sort of compression or irritation of that area. And that's an area that is commonly irritated. Okay?
I knew that yesterday.
Now, have a jump down for me and just have a bit of a feel about it. So just have a bit of a spring and a jump. So you feel restriction without, but you can still function, is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a really neat technique. And the beauty of that too, again, is that sometimes even if you're in a sport where they're only out for a short while, you don't even have to protect the ends. Actually, it'll stay on. Okay. But if you do want to protect those ends, then you would just go for some sort of overwrap. Okay. So just the old stretch band light's a good option. Okay. Again, advancing the tape, not too much tension, and you can lock them up. Okay. Both top and bottom.
You could also use that on a stroke patient that's, clicking hyperextension.
On a stroke patient to control, absolutely. I mean, that's not my patient population, but if it refers to what you do in clinic, perfect. And that's really true. Yeah, for sure. So that's more, yeah. So I'm trying to block an injury, but you're trying to support a lack of control. So horses for courses. And again, you can make that tighter or looser depending on what you're trying to achieve, but that's a really good hyperextension technique.